Buddy, I know this is last second, so I don't know who's going to show up to the stream, but I'm going to do the history of old time radio shows, CBS Radio Mystery Theater Edition. So let me do the intro and then see who comes in here. So here we go. Let's get ready.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
It's getting crazier out there, and it's just me. Anyways, oh, Connie Cleary's there. Hello, what's going on? Just figured I'd jump on and do this thing live instead of recording it. I don't know how long I'm going to go. I may go an hour and a half like usual around this time. But I'm going to start going through the entire history of CBS Radio Mystery Theater episodes. So I've got an ongoing series called The History of Old Time Radio. I'm going to start doing every single episode in order of CBS Radio Mystery Theater. So there you go. Hello, Connie Clary. Hello, Linda Ellis. Good to see you. Good to see each and every one of you. It is drab and raining and cold and miserable here. So what else should I do other than CBS Radio Mystery Theater? So there you go. So I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start from the very first episode. I'm going to give you kind of some facts about it, little plot synopsis and all that good stuff. And then we will take it from there. So that's kind of what's going on. Listen, last second, I think I'm like 10 minutes ago, I said, you know what? I'm going to go live. So instead of recording it, I'm just going to go live and see who shows up. So here we go. Yes, exactly, Connie Clary. It is awfully cold out there. But CBS Radio Mystery Theater, okay? Episode number 1. The old ones are hard to kill. And feel free to chime in on what your best one is, your favorite one is. But, you know, I'm just going to go through order, talk about it, look at the chat if anybody's got anything to say. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, please. Make sure I think every weekend coming up here for a while, I think we're going to have trivia nights be wrong answers only, just because it was so freaking fun, man. I mean, it was just so fun. Hey, WTF, what's going on? Going to start getting into the history of CBS Radio Mystery Theater. And overnight tonight, Jeff Reagan, investigator, all night long. So I put together a series of episodes, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. But here we go. Here we go. The old ones are hard to kill. The very first broadcast, January 6, 1974, and was rebroadcast then again on March 1st, 1974, and December 2nd, 1978. The cast was Agnes Moorehead, Ada Canby, Leon Jamney, Stuart Winfield, Dr. George, Roger DeCoven, Arnold Shelton, and Mr. Paulson. Written by Henry Slessor. Ada Canby has reached her golden years with her sense of independence intact, with a spryness in her limbs, and with very good vision and excellent hearing. But Ada soon learns that there are times when good hearing is not a blessing, proving once and for all that when it comes to murder, there's no fool like an old fool. What? Hey, what are you talking about? This episode, little notes for this. This marked the first episode of the series, and Agnes Moorehead, currently starring on Broadway in a revival of Gigi, made her first of 2 appearances. Hyman Brown, the director of the series, wanted Moorehead to star in the premiere episode because of the status of her past radio experience. She is probably best known for her role as Mrs. Albert Stevenson in the suspense production of Sorry, Wrong Number, which won Moorehead numerous awards and a reputation as the first lady of suspense. And of course, I came here without no water. And there's none close by. What's wrong with me? Anyways, that is the first episode. The old ones are hard to kill. I lived at Woohoo. Hey, Connie. Yeah. Hey, WTF. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Okay. Anyways, episode 2 for CBS Radio Mystery Theater. The Return of the Moresbys. Aired January 7th, 1974. Rebroadcast February 20th, 1974. And 11/11/78. So there you go. Hey, Travis, what's going on? Good to see you, Travis. Good to see you. The cast was Patrick O'Neill as Richard Moresby, Marion Seldes as Una Moresby, Danny Acco as Dr. Singh, Nick Pryor as Mr. Prouty, written by Henry Slessor. First 2 episodes written by Henry Slessor. So there you go. Plot: when Una Moresby announces that she has left her considerable fortune to an organization her husband considers phony, he decides to murder her and succeeds in making her death look like a suicide. But an inexplicable series of coincidences makes Richard wonder if his dead wife is trying to reach out from beyond the grave to seek retribution. The thing I love with it is, so that's a plot kind of the Return of Moresby. It kind of has a Night Gallery, Twilight Zone kind of feel to a lot of these episodes. If you listen to them, listen, this is old hat for us, right? Old hat. We know CBS Radio Mystery probably like the back of our hand, but when you get down to it, a lot of these episodes, am I wrong, you guys? They kind of feel like a Night Gallery, a Twilight Zone, an Outer Limits. They almost have that feel. Anyways, you would think Rod Serling would be doing, but listen, we got who we got, right? Anonymous, hello all. You fun-loving peeps listening as kicking ass on BS for fun. Having fun on PlayStation. There you go. Hey, Kathy Evans. Hi, I love this show. Yeah. So, episode number 3 is The Bullet. The Bullet. This is a very good one. They're all good. I don't, of course, some are better than others, but, they're all really good when you get down to it, right? Yeah, good to see you, Anonymous. Keep playing your PlayStation. Enjoy. I just figured I'd go live with this tonight rather than record it and then upload it and do all that stuff. Who knows if you guys will pop on and have some fun talking with me, but last minute, Anyways, episode 3, The Bullet. It was broadcast on January 8th, 1974. And it was rebroadcast February 15th, 1974. So there you go. The cast was Larry Haynes as Jerry Price, Evelyn Luster as Marge Price. Too bad they couldn't give Vincent Price for this. Martin Newman as Paul Gardner, Danny Acco as Paddy, Paddy, Leon Jamney as Dr. Steiner, Ralph Bell as O'Rourke, written by Sam Dan. So Sam Dan's first written episode, The Bullet. 2 war soldiers who were buddies during Vietnam get together to talk about old times after 9 years of separation. One of them is happily alive, while the other is dead. Plot synopsis. Notes on this episode: Martin Newman, stage and television actor, was once an extra on radio's The FBI in Peace and War. Says Newman about this episode, Larry Haynes and Ralph Bell were the stars. Larry Haynes' radio work totals more than 15,000 acting appearances. Did you hear me, guys and gals? Larry Haynes, 15,000 acting appearances in such shows as The Columbia Workshop, Gangbusters, The FBI, and Peace and War, Suspense, and the title role of Mike Hammer. Haynes was a semi-regular on Inner Sanctum during the mid to late 1940s. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. You know what? Every time there's another thing, High Boy Donuts, RTN Productions, Dennis, love you, always will. When he first came in, one of the first things he ever did when he appeared on this channel was he would come and say suspense, and he would just type that, and then slowly he got But anyways, I always think of RTN. Anyways, episode number 4. I'm just about to enter. Aha! Glad you went live, Dino. Oh, thanks, Connie. I'd rather do it live than record it. So that's why I'm doing this. And it allows me to get more out there. I'm going to do this probably till 8:30, like a regular stream. So whoever shows. Episode number 4 is Lost Dog. Lost Dog. Premiered January 9th, 1974. WTF 15,000. Think of all those Kreml commercials. The mind staggers. Yes, WTF. Yes, agree. Oh my god. Okay, this one stars one of my favorites because of Planet of the Apes. Zara. Lost Dog premiered January 9th, 1974, and it was rebroadcast February 4th, 1974, February 11th, 1974, and December 30th, 1978. A lot of these episodes repeat and rebroadcast at certain times. So you got to take in consideration a lot of the rebroadcasts. But the cast was Kim Hunter of Planet of the Apes fame, and such a recognizable voice, playing the lead role, and as Zara, the female chimp on Planet of the Apes. Love Kim Hunter. The voice is just fantastic. Just about to enter a haunted house for a mission, spooky. Enjoy Anonymous. Okay, so Kim Hunter as Julia Smollett, George Matthews, George Smollett, Mandy Potamkin as Ronnie Hughes, Bob Dryden as Dr. Froelich, and Gilbert Mack as Dr. McCann. Dog. Guess he plays the dog too. Yeah, we hear the dog in there. So Gilbert Mack plays the dog too. You guys remember hearing that? Written by Henry Slessor. So back to Henry Slessor as the writer of this episode. A fear of animals is not easily understood by people who don't share the same phobia as Julia Smollett discovers when her husband attempts to bring a fearsome dog into their home. After being terrorized by the fierce dog, she decides to make the four-legged creature her friend, thus making the animal turn on its master. Notes for this episode: Kim Hunter became world famous for her prize-winning performance as Stella Kowalski in both the stage and film versions of Tennessee Williams, A Streetcar Named Desire. I know her for something else. She won an Academy Award for her role in the 1952 film and the Donaldson and Critics Circle Award in 1947 for the stage show. Among Hunter's other Broadway successes are Luba in Darkness at Noon, Ruby Halls in The Chase, Sylvia Cruz in The Tender Trap, and Bea Bryce in Lilith. She played in Lilith, too, on stage. She has appeared on many major television series and made numerous movies, including the role of Dr. Zara, the chimpanzee scientist, in Planet of the Apes from 1968, Beneath the Planet of the Apes 1970, and Escape from the Planet of the Apes 1971. Probably one of the best Planet of the Apes movies of them all. Escape from the Planet of the Apes, in my opinion. I mean, the original is the best, but Escape is right up there, man. George Matthews, who plays the role of George Smollett in this episode, was a recurring character on television's The Honeymooners. George Smollett was a recurring character on television. I know the Honeymooners like the back of my hand, and I'm trying to remember George Matthews' role, George Smollett. Oh boy, I'm going to have to look deeper into that. That's for sure. But for all those who are here watching, as I go through these episodes, we're on to episode 5 now. See, I'm going to be able to churn out a lot more history behind CBS Radio Mystery Theater. Thank you. And please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And check out the description below. Episode number 5 was back to episode number 4, Lost Dog. Funny episode because every time we hear Gilbert Mack play the dog, because you could tell it's a human barking, it kind of cracks me up every single time. It's kind of funny. Hey, traveling fools, what's going on? Good to see you. Okay, so episode number 5 is No Hiding Place. Premiered January 10th, 1974. Rebroadcast again February 25th, 1974. The cast was Larry Haynes as Charles Powell, Ann Meacham as Elsie, Jackson Beck as Clint Livets, Sidney Walker, McCready, Tom Keena, George Hamill. Written by Sidney Sloan, S-L-O-N, Sloan. Charles Powell, executive vice president of a large company and engaged to the boss's daughter, seems to have everything going for him. But Clint Livets, who knows the secret of Charles's past, shows up with a dirty hand and blackmail on his mind. Sounds like an episode of Twilight Zone, but something weird's got to happen, which usually always does in CBS Radio Mystery Theater. But there you go. Episode number 5, No Hiding Place. Episode number 6, Honeymoon with Death. Very, very good. The Tasteful Thickness. Let's go. Good to see you, The Tasteful Thickness. Let's go. We are going. I am doing the history behind CBS Radio Mystery Theater episode by episode. And we are on to episode number 5. Nope, we are on to number 6. Honeymoon with Death, which premiered in January 11th, 1974. Rebroadcast February 27th, 1974. And then again on November 4th of 1978. The cast was Lois Nettleton, who played Jennifer Brady. Terry Keane played Margaret Brady. Tony Roberts was Ed Helmut. Norman Rose Howard. Written by Sam Dan. Dan with two N's. Johnny Johnson. Greetings from South Alabama. Good to see you, Johnny Johnson. Johnny Johnson, what's going on, man? Definitely good to see you. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. Have you guys done War of the Worlds? Yes. Listen, The Tasteful Thickness. I've done almost everything you can find on my channel streamed. 12-hour streams. You should have plenty of fun searching and looking. You can't miss it. Daryl Hagler is here. What's going on? Derby Girl. Hey, Derby Girl. You betcha. She's here. Hi, y'all. Good to see you. Just went live out of the clear blue. Thought I'd go episode by episode with the history of CBS Radio Mystery Theater. I interrupted myself. So Honeymoon with Death. A rookie policeman sympathizes with a young newlywed bride who claims that her husband has been murdered. No one else will believe her, including her sister, who says that she has just imagined the murder. The neophyte cop soon wonders who actually is telling the truth. Notes behind this episode, and there's a bit of notes on this episode, but definitely good to see everybody here. John Doe, what's going on? Good to see each and every one of you. Hope everybody is having a great Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is. It's cold and rainy here, but hopefully in your neck of the woods, it's feeling good. So notes for this episode, which is Honeymoon with Death, episode 6 of CBS Radio Mystery Theater. Lois Nettleton and Tony Roberts made their radio acting debut in this episode, says Nettleton. It's great fun. I want to do more. It's fascinating to pour all your emotions into your voice. I agree. I would love to do old time radio. It had to have been so freaking fun. My only problem was keeping the proper distance away from the microphone, says Roberts. It's a whole new technique. It's like plunging into ice cold shower. You must play to, did I say it's like plunging into ice cold shower? Yeah, whatever. You must play to a microphone. The only thing that matters is what you can convey through your voice. And best of all, you don't have to look your best. Can you imagine how some of these old-time radio performers came to do their auditions? Listen, most of them probably had a suit and tie. This was back in the day when everybody was sophisticated, a suit and tie, a hat, loved it, dresses, all that. But can you imagine one that showed up late and she's in a robe, she's got curlers in her hair, but they're going on. You have no idea what's going on, right? I mean, come on. Let's see. Johnny John's been in your neck of the woods. You guys talking about that? Susan Flaherty. Good to see you, Susan. Much love to each and every one of you. Loved a CBS Mystery Radio Theater. Helped me with my grad school insomnia during the 70s. Thank you for this. It helps me now, which is why I play it overnight every night. You can always get a 12-hour stream from the time you go to bed to when you wake up. You got something going on. You got a story going in one ear and out the other, and one ear, flowing woo, instead of sheeps. You know what I'm saying? Counting sheeps over a fence. Anyways, continuing on with the notes for this episode, Honeymoon with Death. Tony Roberts, who stars as police officer Ed Helmut, is the son of famed radio announcer Kenneth Roberts, who from time to time in the 1940s and 50s acted in the CBS radio drama Grand Central Station, also directed by Hyman Brown, which Grand Central Station, I'm going to have to play some of those episodes. When he was just a youngster, Roberts got his first taste of acting by accompanying his father to the studio, where he was babysat by sound man Jimmy Dwan, D-W-A-N. What a name. It was a grand reunion for the younger Roberts and Dwan during the taping of this episode. When Roberts walked into the studio, there was Dwan, D-W-A-N, back at his old stand playing the records, closing a door, dialing a telephone, running up the stairs, etc., the sound man, and doing the other things he had done when he was also Robert's babysitter. Lois Nettleton performed the role of Blanche Dubois in the recent Broadway revival of Tennessee Williams with Kim Hunter, A Streetcar Named Desire. Her movies include Mail Order Bride. Gotta love that, right? Just get them through the mail. Not really. 1964 with Buddy Ebsen, Good Guys and the Bad Guys from 1969 with Robert Mitchum. Dirty Dingus Maggie. Boy, oh boy. 1970 with Frank Sinatra, and Period of Adjustment in 1962, for which she won the Laurel Award, given annually by the motion picture distributors to the most promising newcomer to Hollywood films. Nettleton's television credits include Cannon, Bracken's World, Medical Center, the FBI, Name of the Game, and the Mary Tyler Moore Show. She won high praise for her role as schizophrenic in The Interns, Her latest film to premiere since her mystery performance was The Honkers, The Honkers, 1972, co-starring James Coburn. So there was a lot to talk about with Honeymoon with Death, going on to episode number 7. Dirty Dingus. Yes. Wait a second. Wait a holy frickin' second. Chain reaction. Do you know how long it's been since I've seen you? It's been years on this channel. What is going on? A Chain Reaction. I used to listen to CBS radio drama almost every night in the 70s. Very cool. Very cool. Unfortunately, I didn't get to hear him till way later. When was the first time I heard CBS Radio Mystery Theater? Maybe in the 90s. But yeah, Chain Reaction. Holy Moses, man. Good to see you. They probably drank on the set too, those Sally Wags. Oh my God, that's so funny. But Chain Reaction, so good to see you here, man. Listen, we're still doing horror stuff on the channel and all kinds of stuff. I mean, almost every single night. I mean, now again, history of CBS Radio Mystery Theater, episode by episode. I am going. We are on to episode number 7. And here we go. Listen, you got to be the same Chain Reaction. If you're not, you look almost exactly like another person who was Chain Reaction when they. Yeah, so that's you, right? Chain Reaction. Tell me, it was you. Okay, so episode number 7 of CBS Radio Mystery Theater was "I Warn You 3 Times." I warn you 3 times, not 2, not 1, not 4, but 3 times. Premiered January 12th, 1974, rebroadcast February 7th of 74, and 12/3/78. So the cast: Joan Loring as Hetty, Tom Keena as Tom, Mason Adams as Fred Peterson, Sam Gray, Officer Dennis, Alan Manson as Lieutenant Carroll, written by Sam Dan. Yes, it's me. Okay, cool. I just want to be sure. Much love to you, Chain Reaction. Boom, bang, boom. Okay, so here we go. Hetty Peterson's husband tells a newspaper reporter that his wife is a real-life witch and that he's going to kill her. Okay, thank you. But the reporter, after investigating Peterson's story, wonders if he might not be the cause of the couple's marital problems. Whoo! Okay, so I warn you 3 times. Sounds kind of deep, right? Sounds kind of deep. Well, that's episode 7, man. Aaron Norman, loving the random live stream. Any chance we could have another Vincent Price night? Oh, yeah. Listen, we've had plenty of them. I'll have to dig in the vault and look for more Vincent Price stuff. There's plenty out there, I'm sure. That episode was one that stayed with me, Daryl Hagler. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I warned you 3 times. It was very intense. It's a very intense episode, but you know, I'm more for the like darker, kind of stuff. Anyways, episode number 8. Here we go. Episode number 8. Cold storage. Cold storage. What could that mean? Dead body? Meat, maybe meat. Cold Storage premiered January 13th, 1974. It was rebroadcast January 3rd of 1976 and December 9th of 1978. Cast was Ruby Dee as Nancy Lee. Ruby Dee was Nancy Lee. John Barragray as Buford. Todd Davies as William. Roxy Roker as Hannah. Bryna Rayburn as Sarah. And it was written by Ian Martin, who would go on to write many episodes. A money-loving son sees his inheritance disappearing when his mother, supposedly dead, suddenly comes back to life. A chilling tale not of life and death, but rather of death and life. Let me think about that a second. John Doe, Body in the Freezer. A chilling tale not of life and death, but rather of death and life. Emphasis on death and maybe the grieving son. Anyways, notes for this episode are Ruby Dee has appeared in such films as The Jackie Robinson Story in 1950, The Balcony in 1963, good movie, Gone Are the Days, 1963, Windmills of the Gods from 1988, A Raisin in the Sun, Good movie. 1961. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings from 1979. All God's Children, 1980. Cat People. She appeared in Cat People, 1982. Holy Moses. And she also was in Do the Right Thing in 1989. Listen, there's something about Do the Right Thing. I love Do the Right Thing. It's such a hard impacting movie, but the way it was, listen, I love Do the Right Thing. Anyways, 1989. And A Cop and a Half, 1993. Cop and a Half, 1993. So listen, Ruby Dee, she was doing the movies, man, up until 1993. So there you go. That was episode number 8, Cold Storage. On to episode number 9, Narcosis. Narcosis. Good to see you. Lots of great stories. Yes. Yes. That's why I'm going through every single episode in order through my history of old time radio shows. It's going to include these, the history of CBS Radio Mystery Theater, episode by episode. Ruby Dee's legendary Blacktress. Yes. Chain Reaction. She and her husband, Ozzie Davis, are the stuff of legend in both movies and theater. Daryl Hagler. There you go. There you go. Yeah, no. Unbelievable stuff. Great movies. Great movies. Episode number 9. Here we go. Chong's Fury. Not Cheech, but Chong's Fury. Always loved the ones with Fred Gwynn voicing. Yeah. Listen, there were a couple, Agnes Moorehead had her episodes, but Fred Gwynn did a good amount. Casey Kasem was in some. Listen, it was the 70s. CBS Radio Mystery Theater, man. Narcosis, lots of great memories too. Remember being a little kid, picking my mom up that got off at 11 p.m., listening to Mystery Theater on the same way home. Narcosis, very cool, very cool. Yeah, these things bring in, listen, a lot of, I think, the people around here, and on the channel and stuff like that, got some good memories from the 70s, you know what I mean? And it's good hearing the memories too, that's for sure. Good to see you too, man. Vicky Alcorn, what's up? Good to see you. JKD Buck 76, it's been a long time since I've seen you, man. CBS Radio Mystery Theater is the best. It is one of the best. It's like there's not a bad episode almost, really, like The Twilight Zone. That TV series, there's not a bad episode. CBS Radio Mystery Theater did even more, and it is. Okay, on to the next one. Episode 9, Death Rides a Stallion. Death Rides a Stallion. And remember, you can hear every single CBS Radio Mystery Theater right here on the Late Late Horror Show in a playlist where it's all. And I'm also now going back and going through them all, fixing them up and giving them the best quality you can possibly hear. You can't hear them sound any better. So check those out on the channel. Episode number 9, Death Rides a Stallion, premiered January 14th, 1974, and was rebroadcast February 23rd, 1974. The cast, Mason Adams as Frank, Barbara Worthington as Emily, Paul Garth as Uncle Harry, Harry Baliver as Mac, Marion Seldes as Judy, and it was also written by Sam Dan. It'll be interesting going through each and every episode, seeing who wrote the shows and if they continued for how long and if they came back. Going to be good. Well, plot. A dead girl reappears with her Fury Stallion. Sounds good to me. To confront her fortune-hunting boyfriend. Oh, boy. Suspected of having caused her death. Yeah, some revenge. A spine-chilling tale about a horse who not only runs but thinks mostly about murder. Interesting. This is a good. Listen. Yeah. Right. Death. Anyways, notes for this episode. Mason Adams later appeared on television as Charlie Hume on Lou Grant from 1977 to 1982. Gordon Blair on Morning Star, Evening Star in 1986. Why have I never heard of that TV series? 1986. And as Everett Day on Night and Day in 1989. I never heard of that either. They were probably very short-lived one-season series. I never heard of those. On to episode number 10, The Resident. Aaron Norman, sounds like a cow pie. Okay. Thanks for that hard work, Dino. You're welcome, Aaron Norman. I do. I'm sure people appreciate it. The better the quality and the sound for the episode. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Forget about it. You know what I mean? Forget about it. Yeah, definitely good to see everybody. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button, please. Thank you. Share it wherever you can. All that good stuff. Leave a comment down below after the show. On to episode number 10, which is The Resident. What was wrong? I just went live. I didn't even bring the water. I need water like there's no tomorrow. Sorry about that. The Resident premiered January 15th, 1974. It was rebroadcast in December 1st, 1974 and December 10th, 1978. And real quick, chain reaction. I once spoke to Hyman Brown on the phone about releasing the show on cassette. He wasn't prepared to do that at the time. Chain reaction. No way. He kind of, well, depending on his, listen, by this time he was old. It was old school, man. Him thinking of even releasing it on anything, I can understand that because back in the day, they all had contracts and they went with contracts, right? Anyways, okay, The Resident. The cast, Carmen Matthews as Melvina Thripp, Martin Newman as the mailman, Gilbert Mack as the cat, Joan Loring Viola, written by someone new, Elspeth Eric. Plot: when Melvina Thripp moves to the country, she didn't anticipate having two house guests, both uninvited and unknown, quite so soon. The first is a decidedly unfriendly cat. The second is a young girl who seems intent on taking over Melvina's life and house with the cat as an ally. Whoa, The Resident. Again, really interesting. Doodles, 85, waving. Hey, Doodles, what's going on? Good to see you, Doodles. Doodle this, doodle that. 561 Choppa. Hey, Choppa, what's going on? Good to see you here, man. Going through each episode, history of CBS Radio Mystery Theater. Notes for The Resident. Gilbert Mack has had over 40 years of experience in television and radio roles. While standard sound effects are usually used for animal noises, the cat in this episode is a central character which reacts specifically to the various situations with purrs, meows, and growls. Hyman Brown knew this was the time to call in an expert. Gilbert Mack. Mack claimed to be able to portray any and every type of accent or animal sound. On an earlier episode, he played the dog. Yes, we talked about that. So he did the meows in the cat and the sounds of the cat. And if you remember the episode, which I do, I remember the episode, or various other animals in CBS Radio Mystery Theater, you can always tell that it's a human making the noise, especially the one with the cat, where it sounds like it's in heat. And if anybody knows a cat in heat, it sounds so freaking awful. But you could tell it's a man. You could tell it's a man. So that is just too funny. Let's see. Meant hello. Hello, Doodles. Vicky Alcorn, Dino, did you hear about the 90-year-old that's the oldest volunteer at a fire station? Says he drinks Ovaltine every day. Vicky Alcorn. Well, listen, it's chock full of vitamins and minerals. and especially your B vitamins. So Ovaltine, there you go. Love the idea of a cat as a villain, Aaron Norman. Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, felines have been portrayed in, listen, Island of Dr. Moreau. I mean, we can go on and on and on. Cat people, it's yeah. So very cool. No, 100 years old. Benny volunteer for 84 years. Holy Moses, Vicky Alcorn. Ovaltine will do that to you. I hope. Listen. I hope that's what's going on. Okay, episode 11. Listen, see, we're going to get a lot of episodes out here. This is a good way for me to do this, right? So the CBS Radio Mystery Theater ones, we're definitely going to do this way live. Anyways, episode 11, accounts receivable. Accounts receivable. JK says, where's Michael Winslow when you need him to make cat noises and all the other noises? Yes. Listen, I can. See, I can do a dog and a cat. Listen, can I do other animals? Let's see. Throw an animal out there. No, anyways. Accounts receivable, episode 11, premiered January 16th, 1974, and rebroadcast February 5th, 1974. The cast was William Prince, Phil Coleman, Joseph Julian as Rick Coleman, Joan Banks as Nina, Ralph Carter as Harry, and Ian Martin as Macaulay. Bob Dryden was the doctor, and it was written by Sidney Sloan. S-L-O-N, Sloan. Listen, I don't know. But this is a second written episode. Phil Coleman, an embittered son searching for his father all his life. Sounds like me. Has lived all these years burdened by the reputation of his father, a gunman, robber, and a jailbird. Money stolen years ago brings the two together in a suspenseful showdown. Notes for the episode. Here we go. Goat. Heard it on the radio. Sorry. Catnip. Okay, just looking at the chat. Okay, notes for this episode. Joan Banks, a veteran radio performer who played numerous character roles on radio, played the role of Nina in this episode. She married character actor Frank Lovejoy. We all know him during the late 1940s, and often appeared on the same radio productions in which her husband either starred or made a guest appearance. Shows such as Suspense, Damon Runyon Theater, and Escape. She played numerous supporting roles on Night Beat, Frank Lovejoy, Night Beat, an action drama in which her husband Frank Lovejoy starred as reporter Randy Stone. That was episode number 11, Accounts Receivable, CBS Radio Mystery Theater. Very cool. Okay, so on to episode number 12. Sloan, like S-L-O-N, Sloan, like savings and loan. I heard that name so much it's pronounced like loan. Okay, I got you, Narcosis. Thank you. Sloan it is. I'm late, but here. Hey, Peter Wernicki, what's going on? Good to see you, Peter. Jeff Reagan all night tonight, overnight. This I just out of the spur of the moment went live. This is going to be the ongoing series, History of Old Time Radio Shows on the channel. But I went live this time, and I'll give it an hour and a half, and I'm going to go through every episode of CBS Radio Mystery Theater in order with all the plot, the behind the scenes, and all that stuff. So that's what's going on. So episode number 12, You Can Die Again. Sounds nice. You Can Die Again. Premiered January 17th, 1974. Rebroadcast March 10th, 1974. The cast was Richard Mulligan as Spencer, Gilbert Mack as Dr. Berger, Marion Seldes as Peggy and Margaret Chadwick, Mandel Kramer, Inspector Faraday, Sydney Walker, Sergeant Milrose, and Bryna Rayburn as Ruth. And it was written by Sam Dan. So, what's this about? What is this about? Spencer Chadwick, who married the boss's daughter 23 years ago and struck it rich, always preferred an academic career. Now he wants to turn back the clock, even if he must murder those who stand in his way. Boy, isn't that the way it goes? Always. Notes for this episode: Richard Mulligan's film career spans Teachers, 1984, Babes in Toyland, 1986, Meatballs 2, 1984, Pueblo Affair, 1973, and Mickey and Maude in 1984. Wow, he was in Teachers, which is a good show. Movie, Meatballs, in 1984. Very interesting. Okay, You Can Die Again. That's episode number 12. Hey, M.O.R. Another good story with a cat as antagonist is Tobermory by H.H.M. Moreau. Okay, gotcha. Good to see you, M.O.R. I will look that one up. I'm familiar with the offer. Yes, to Jeff Reagan. Jap Webb is Frank Graham is exceptional. Yeah. Very cool. So we are going to go. Hold on a second here. Got to take care of business really fast, and then the next episode is going to be episode number 13. Episode number 13. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm live and I'm doing an important text here. Okay, hold on. Listen, it happens when you're live, right? Give me 1 second. The ways of live, right? I had to text my son. He's more important than me being on live. So just had to say something there. Anyways, episode number 13. Ring a ring of roses. Ring a ring of roses. A pocket full of poses and ashes, ashes. So Ring a Ring of Roses was episode number 13. It premiered on January 18th, 1974. It was rebroadcast December 3rd, 1974, and January 4th, 1980. Cast: Glynis O'Connor as Lori Thornton, George Petrie as George, Holland Taylor as Helena Ralston, Carol Wallard as the daughter, Sydney Walker as man, Elspeth Eric as Mrs. Ralston. Written by S.J. Wilson. Yes, of course. Yep. Okay, so the cast, we just said that. The plot threw me off. Lori Thornton and her fiancé pay a call on her former college roommate, Helena Ralston, unaware of Ralston's mother's devious scheme to release Helena from an ancient family curse by passing it on to them. Ooh, a nursery rhyme, an antique ring, and an improbable hallucination are deathly frightening to an engaged couple. Ring a Ring of Roses is a very eerie episode, very eerie. Notes for this episode: Glynis O'Connor has appeared in numerous films, including Our Town from 1977, Kid Vengeance 1975, The Boy in the Plastic Bubble with John Travolta in 1976. Those Lips, Those Eyes. How many times I have said those words. Have I? 1980. Night Crossing, 1981. And Someone I Touched, 1975. Oy. So there you go. On to question. I think I'm doing trivia night here. On to episode number 14. Don't nullify the curse. Just transfer it. Problem solved. Family. Yeah. There you go. Okay, so episode number 14. The Girl Who Found Things. So many good episodes. Premiered January 19th, 1974, and rebroadcast March 8th. My birthday, 1974, not the year, but the day, March 8th, and November 26th, 1978. Interesting. The Girl Who Found Things. The cast, Norman Rose is David Wheeler. Martha Greenhouse is Geraldine. Bob Dryden as Lucas. Barbara Caruso as Rowena Wheeler. Bryna Rayburn, Aunt Faith. Ann Costello as Iris. And written by Henry Slessor. He would go on to do many episodes, I do believe. And it's funny, as I'm doing this, you kind of start to know reoccurring actors and actresses who play on this, Bryna Rayburn being one. The plot for this one, a good one. A man who arranged the murder of his half-sister fears a 16-year-old girl more than he fears the police, who are unable to locate the corpus delicti. Wow. The little girl has an unusual talent for finding lost dolls or dead bodies. A very good episode. A very good episode. The Girl Who Found Things. One of the better ones. But as we go on through all these episodes, we're going to find out there's too many to count. Too many great episodes. All those names bring back memories. Narcosis. Right. And that's why I think doing this kind of live in like an hour and a half, a little bit different than the other History of Old Time Radio, will be a little interesting, because you're hearing over a span of what we've already done. We're up to episode 15. You get to hear the actors and actresses and all these people and movies they've been in and appeared in, and connect all the dots to everything CBS Radio Mystery Theater related. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, you guys. Thumbs up. If you like. So here we go. Eric says, nowadays I just spread all my ancient family curses via TikTok. Oh my gosh. Okay. Episode number 15, The Chinaman Button. Premiered January 20th, 1974. Rebroadcast March 15th, 1974 and 10/7/78. The cast, Paul Hecht as Phil Thurston, Mason Adams as Walter Van Haas, Ralph Bell as Lou Michaels, Evelyn Juster as Millie Van Haas, and Will Hare as Charles Edwards. Edwards. Written by Henry Slessor. Again, 2 episodes in a row. Plot, Phil Thurston doesn't believe that anyone, not even scrupulously honest Walter Van Haas, is above compromising in order to make money. This is what he believes. He believes this, people. Phil sets out to prove his theory is a highly sophisticated version of the Chinaman Button, a childish game played by 2 adults that soon turns deadly. There we go. Sioban! Good evening. Good to see ya. Much love. Woo! Up the fingers. Up the fingers. Woo! Woo! Up the fingers. Not the middle. Thank you, Connie Clary. Enjoying the streaming channel. Please thumbs up. I'll subscribe, the bell, all that good stuff. Yep. Much love to each and every one of you guys here today. Thank you. Moving on to episode number 16. So we're also going to get through a lot of episodes here. So episode 16, Dead for a Dollar. Dead for a Dollar. It premiered January 21st, 1974. Rebroadcast March 16th, 1974. The cast was Paul Hecht as Wynn Thomas, Joseph Julian as Harry Tolan, Joan Banks as Kay Woodhouse, Mary Jane Higby as Denise Grant, Tony Roberts as Tony Grant, and George Petrie, not Petrie Wine, George Petrie as Jason Grant, written by Murray Burnett. First written episode by Murray Burnett. The plot is, along with his millions, Jason Grant sits on a golden throne built on many ruined lives and has earned the hatred of more people than he bothers to remember. On this day, however, 2 ex-employees sit in a bar and plan how they will kill Grant by tossing a coin to decide which one will do it. Now that sounds like an episode of Twilight Zone. Many of these do. Mission done, but now a side mission. Keep it going, Anonymous. Keep it going. Episode 17. Yeah, I'll be able to get through 20 episodes, no problem here. So glad to see a traditional Irish name here. There you go, Peter. Yeah. Okay. Episode number 17, a very old man. A very old and dying man, Sonny. A very old man. Premiered January 22nd, 1974. Rebroadcast March 22nd, 1974. And rebroadcast December 17, 1978. The cast, Santos Ortega as Otto. Bryna Rayburn again as Bertha, William Redfield as Stefan, Norman Rose as Manfred, written by Elspeth Eric. So here we go again with another Elspeth Eric episode, A Very Old Man. An old man has the supernatural powers and ability to diagnose ailments and cures them with a strange warmness in his hands. His son-in-law, a doctor, fears his medical practice will be ruined. Oh, who is that again? Oh, why can't I figure? I can't remember it's paranormal. The Edgar Cayce. It's totally the story of Edgar Cayce. A Very Old Man is the story of Edgar Cayce. I mean, that's it. An old man has the supernatural power and ability to diagnose ailments and cure them with a strange warmness in his hands. Edgar Cayce also predicted things, but he was really known back in the day, which people forget, for his healing, being able to heal people, usually with the hands, a little bit of warmth. And he could tell people what was wrong with them. He could say, you've got cancer of the lung or something. If you don't know who Edgar Cayce is, look him up, but you should probably know somewhere along the lines you heard of Edgar Cayce. Very, very cool. Okay, so on to the next one then, episode number 18. And Nothing But the Truth. And Nothing But the Truth. It premiered January 23rd, 1974, and it was rebroadcast March 17th, 1974, and December 31st, 1978. Cast was Christopher, what a weird way of spelling it, Christopher Tibori, who was David Williams. Arnold Moss played Grant Williams. Clarice Blackburn played Marion. William Redfield played Detective Rizzo. Ralph Bell as Lieutenant Klamath. And written by Ian Martin. Another Ian Martin episode. So there you go. Ranhen, what is going on? Good to see you. The Sleeping Prophet. Yes, Eric. Yes, The Sleeping Prophet. There you go. That was a good one. MOR. There you go. I think you're talking about A Very Old Man. And Mark Ingram says, wow, listen to these as a kid when I stayed over at my grandma's house on WBBM Chicago. Always scary. Pulled the covers over my head as an 8-year-old in 1976. They were airing these again in the mid-90s. Yes, Mark Ingram. Yes. It was the 90s that I started to listen to them, I think. Just a few episodes, but didn't hit me really until even later that I started listening to him. But Mark Ingram, I don't know if you listen to the channel on a regular basis, but overnights, 7 days a week, every single night, 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time. We have old time radio shows every single night, and more. Plenty of good stuff on the channel. So hopefully you get to catch those. They're every night. Bob Gable, what is going on, Bob Gable? Been a while, my friend. Dino, thanks for what you do. Glad the channel is back and better than ever. Thank you, Bob Gable. Been back for a long time. And it's good to see you. And I definitely love Spock. I love that you got him as your avatar. That's so awesome. Love it. But good to have you back, Bob Gable. Hopefully you've been lurking and listening still and all that good stuff. Thank you for the support and the super chat, $4.99. Thank you. Altogether, how many episodes were there? Yes, $13.99, I believe. Yes. Grim Reaper is here. Hi, all. Just moved into our apartment with my brother and girl. Good, Grim Reaper. Glad to hear that. Awesome. Much love. Okay, let's get to another episode. I want to try to get to through all of these and nothing but the truth. Did I say episode number 18 and nothing but the truth? A young man finds out the hard way that acceptance of responsibility is a cornerstone of life. While intoxicated, David Williams drives too fast on a wet night, hits a pedestrian, and flees the scene. To protect his son's chances of winning a valuable scholarship, David's father takes the blame for the accident, but the police suspect otherwise. So that was And Nothing But the Truth, episode number 18, CBS Radio Mystery Theater. So there you go. Siobhan, yes, every night and love it. Yes, thank you. Listen, I love each and every one of you. I'm always lurking. Thank you, Bob Gable. I figure you are. Thank you. Okay, anyways, episode 19, Deadly Honeymoon. Premiered January 24th, 1974, and was rebroadcast March 23rd, 1974. Also, January 5th, 1979. The cast, Betsy von Furstenberg played Susan Carey, Michael Wager as Dan Carey, Mason Adams as Harrington, Elspeth Eric as Aunt Clara, written by Henry Slesser. So there you go. The plot is a bride learns from an ex-police officer that her new husband has been married twice before and that he killed both previous wives while taking them on the same honeymoon trip that he has planned for her. A love story that begins during a honeymoon in a terrifying way. And her new husband has been married twice and that he killed both previous. How did they know he killed both wives? Anyways, there you go. That's the plot. No notes on that episode, but Deadly Honeymoon makes you think and makes you be careful. Listen you. William Sherry, lurk. Nothing wrong with that, William. Good to have you here. I'm glad you at least typed in. Good to know you're around, William Sherry. Welcome. I love the 70s, but it was a hit and miss decade. Haha. Yes, Bob Gable, you are correct. 70s, there's a lot of intriguing things, whether it be movies, TV, radio, all of that stuff. And a lot of great stuff, but a lot of bad stuff, hit or miss. Yeah, you are 100% correct there. I have been captured. Now the fun begins. Oh boy. Bob Gable says 1971, baby. There you go. Okay, so let's get to a couple more before we're at the bottom of the hour here. Next episode 20. Speak of the Devil. Premiered January 25th, 1974. Rebroadcast March 24th, 1974. And January 30th, 1979. The cast, Bryna Rayburn as Jeannie McKay, Jada Rowland as Ellen McKay, Nick Pryor as Michael Tilson, Ian Martin as Dr. Ferguson, and written by Ian Martin. It's funny, a lot of these writers also acted in a lot of this stuff. But yes, written by Ian Martin. Plot: Ellen McKay and her fiancé, Michael Tilson, participate in a seance with her Aunt Jeannie, who has been credited with having the power of second sight and being able to communicate with the dead. No one could anticipate the demons that would be unleashed to plague Ellen's marriage and the child that conceived, which she attempts to thwart. Speak of the devil. Sounds like Rosemary's Baby a little bit, huh? There you go. I have been Ozzy Osbourne album 1980, 1981. There you go. Bob Gable. Yeah, you know what? One more, I think. Let's do episode number 21, The Ring of Truth. Premiered January 26, 1974. Rebroadcast March 29th, 74. And December 16th, 1978. The cast was Agnes Moorehead playing Lorna Kitteridge, Mandel Kramer as Mark Kramer, Santos Ortega as Professor Kitteridge, Ian Martin again as Harold Pryor, Danny Acco as the judge, and written by Henry Slesser. After a fatal car accident, Lorna Kitteridge is torn between lying about the facts for the sake of her fiancé, Mark Kramer, or telling the truth to please her father. Knowing this would cause her to lose Mark, a strange entanglement of truth and lies will drastically affect the lives of the two men and women. Notes on this episode: Agnes Moorehead only starred in 2 episodes of the series, including the premiere. Agnes Moorehead only starred in 2 episodes of the series, including the premiere, before dying of lung cancer shortly after this broadcast. So The Ring of Truth, January 26, 1974, 2 months after this episode, Agnes Moorehead passed away. Moorehead secretly confronted director Hyman Brown about her impending doom during the rehearsal of the first episode. She would have loved to have done more episodes for him, she told Brown, but time was at least kind enough for her to appear on 2 episodes. Wow. Okay, so only 2 episodes, Agnes Moorehead. Well, she did suspense and she did many earlier stuff. So the fact that she even made it to CBS Radio Mystery Theater, and started playing roles there was fantastic. And I think Agnes Moorehead, to people like us or old-time radio fans, will know that she's going to definitely go down as like the old-time radio Hall of Fame. Like, what would you call that? Lifetime Achievement Award, Agnes Moorehead? Yeah, I think very deserving of it. You know what I mean? For everything that she's done, that's for sure. She was great in Bewitched. Yes, Ran Hen. Yes. Agnes Moorehead was a great actress. It wasn't me, Bob. Agnes Moorehead has a master's degree in chemical engineering. Interesting. Okay. Good just listening while at work. Awesome. Yeah, you know what? Let's see. Do I do one more? 919. Let's do one more. Episode 22. Time and Again. Premiered January 27th, 1974. Rebroadcast March 30th, 1974. And 9/9 of 78. The cast was Joan Beale as Ethan Vigil, Grace Matthews as Henrietta, Bryna Rayburn as Harriet. Bryna Rayburn, I wonder who played on more episodes than anybody. I should have names back here, and I should check off how many they appeared in. That might be a fun little game while we're doing this. Maybe I might go ahead and do that for some of the regulars. Ian Martin as Dr. Jacob Royce, and written by Ian Martin. Episode 22, Time and Again. Plot: skilled clockmaker Ethan Vigil purchases a curious antique clock and discovers that the timepiece contains the secret of every man's dream. It has the power to make time stand still. Ethan learns, again, you guys, Twilight Zone episode. Ethan learns at a dreadful expense that the clock works are lubricated with human blood. Oh, I love that plot synopsis. Wow, the clock that makes time stand still, and it's lubricated with human blood. At the Late Late Horror Show, Agnes Morita is in the Radio Hall of Fame in Chicago, inducted 2014. Thank you, Peter Wernicke. I knew that she was something like that similar, but I'm talking, listen, we don't have an old-time Radio Hall of Fame, do we? We should. I think old-time radio is like, I mean, you're talking about decades of entertainment. I think there should be an old-time radio Hall of Fame. And she would be one of the first, I dare to say. Bob Gable, $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. What's on tonight? What is the earliest series you have in the library? Tonight it is Jeff Reagan, Investigator. I plucked out some great episodes, and it will be Jeff Reagan all night long. Jeff Reagan all night long. So there you go. Thanks again for the $4.99 super chat. What is the earliest series you have in the library? Oh my gosh. Bob, a little off guard. I'm definitely not sure. Not sure. Listen, I think 31, maybe 1931. It was Shadow. Or you know what? I'm not sure. Not sure. But thank you. Hyman Brown would be in for sure. Yes. Let me finish the notes off for this episode. The notes for this episode: Ian Martin not only wrote for Mystery Theater, but he also wrote for Broadway, films, and commercials. One of the other many writings Ian Martin became involved in was for such daytime television series as One Life to Live, The Edge of Night, and Search for Tomorrow. So he went on to do soap opera. Popular Library published a small pocket-sized book entitled Strange Tales from the CBS Radio Mystery Theater in 1976. Edited by Hyman Brown, the book featured 3 stories adapted from actual episodes from the series: Elspeth Eric's The Black Room, Sam Dan's The Only Blood, and Ian Martin's Time and Again. Martin based the plot on a story written in longhand, which he found at an auction. The original story, The Vampire Clock, was apparently written by an unknown author and adapted into the Mystery Theater episode by Martin. Very cool information there. Hey, yo, Tom-O! An unknown story, The Vampire Clock. Can you imagine getting a hold? Listen, this would be a dream of mine to actually get a hold of works of fiction that don't have a name to the author and it's like you just find a story there. And he finds a story called The Vampire Clock, and he turns it into Time and Again. Unbelievable. And that's what this is all for. This is why I'm doing this. For you guys to find out tidbits that you may not know or ever heard of before. And, something like that. I think that made the stream right there. Unknown author, The Vampire Clock. Turning it into an episode of CBS Radio Mystery Theater, Time and Again. Anyways, we made it to episode number 22, 1 through 22. There you go. It's just about 9:30. I am going to give myself some time to grab a snack and then start Jeff Reagan Investigator overnight. Bob Gable, thank you again for the two $4.99 super chats. I appreciate it, my friend. I like the oldies. They are almost 100 years. Keep them alive. Yes, Bob Gable. Listen, there's stuff I don't play on the channel too, because it's just like there's comedy, there's musical variety. There's even some soap opera stuff. There's tons of stuff. That's why I put some of it on Dino's Duck Soup, the other channel, which I've neglected, and I haven't done nothing over there in a long time. Just because every single one of them, there's, stuff in them that, people claim and stuff like that. So it is what it is. But I'll eventually get stuff over there again. Don't forget your water, Dino. Oh, no, I'm going to drink something after this. You believe me. Don't forget your right. Thanks for the stream, Dino. This was fun. Thank you all for attending. I am going to continue this series, so look out for upcoming. This is number 1, and they will be subsequent. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. History of Old Time Radio Shows, CBS Radio Mystery Theater. I'm glad we got through 22 episodes tonight. So much love to each and every one of you guys. You on the rocks. I appreciate every one of you. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way out. And please, if you remember, as soon as the stream stops, give a little comment underneath. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.